Hi everyone, you're watching the Anthony Chan Zero, and I am the Anthony Chan Zero. I speak to you today actually on the Veho MUVI HD10. As you can see here, I actually don't use this camera as much anymore. Anyways, today I'm doing a viewer request. I got a request from one of my viewers, Adam J252, who wanted a quick comparison of the Veho MUVI K2 and the iPhone 4S. So I have this rig over here. I'll show you it right now. This rig right here, we have my iPhone 4S inside an OtterBox case, OtterBox armor. And then we have the Veho MUVI K2, no waterproof case of course. And with this rig right here, we're just going to go outside in the backyard real quick, get some video comparison between the two, and hopefully that'll help you out. Or maybe it won't, but nonetheless, you'll have some video to take a look at. Now, I don't have the LCD screen for the K2, and it's already hard to see the monitor, the screen on the iPhone here, so I actually, while I'm shooting the video, I actually won't be able to see what I'm shooting at. But I'll have to get inside the editor, Sony Vegas, my NLE, and then see what we get from there and compare like the FOV and whatnot. So let's go out to the backyard and get some quick videos. So here we go, Veho MUVI K2 versus iPhone 4S. Hey everyone, Taco here. I'm inside my NLE with OBS here, and I'm going through the footage, and let me just get this over with. The 4S, yeah, like definitely, it gets better video than the K2, or at least in image quality. Of course, there's a but. There's a but with everything in life, isn't there? It looks like it comes at a cost. As you can see here, the 4S, while the trees look a lot like smoother, and they're in 1080p, and with the K2, it's in 720p and whatnot. And here's the K2. You see the trees and the leaves. They look kind of like partially pixelated and whatnot, but. And then you go here to the 4S and like, well, that one's too close. It wasn't set to focus properly, but yeah, I mean, looking at the K2, you can see JPEG artifacts, possibly because it was recording at 60 frames per second instead of 30, because that's how compression works. The more frames you have to squeeze in, it gets worse. But it does come at a cost, though. Let me go back to the beginning here, if I can. This is the opening shot. If you look in the bottom right of the corner, like right around here, I don't know if you can see that cursor or not, I probably disabled it. That's part of the car. The 4S looks like it has a really shallow FOV. In order for the 4S to have image stabilization, if any of you were like bright enough and paid attention, the 4S does feature some basic image stabilization, which is pretty neat considering the users of some of the video features. And then you come here to the K2 and you get this FOV, and it's a lot more basically. I believe it was 140 degrees. I forget the specs. It's somewhere online. Don't cite me on this. You can just look online if you want. And I'm sure the numbers are published for the 4S too. But there's a clear distance and there's a clear difference in FOV. So if you're looking to get the most angles, then K2, definitely. And I'm going through here, and here's the forest again. You can see this is a pretty good shot too. You could probably use this in a short film like Campus Movie Fest. And we come to the K2. It looks like this on the K2. You can see it's a little bit like grainy. The shadows look a little bit harsh, possibly because of the dynamic range. Well, every camera has a dynamic range problem. Well, except for maybe Blackmagic, but we're not playing with Blackmagics here. Yeah, and here's another example of the FOV. That's most of the wall of the backyard there. And we come back to the 4S. I don't know if I got a shot of that. We come to the 4S, and that's only part. Well, it's looking a little bit more to the right, so that's a little bit invalid. But yeah, here you go. So this, you just have the tree, and then you see that little pole to get star fruit that we left there, and then you come back to the K2, and we have this. We have a lot more to work with. So from this to this, whoops, to this, yes. So here and here, so you can clearly see the FOV distance. So this is what I was talking about. So the K2 does have slightly worse image quality, but it gets more FOV. But at the same time, the 4S less FOV, but slightly better image quality. Well, maybe slightly is an inappropriate word to use. And we're going through here, and you can see we can get some nice close-ups of the leaves here, versus with the K2 where you can see the JPEG artifacts like on the leaves, and we're not that close up. And the camera was a little bit high, but that's a different story. Well, the K2 was pointing a little bit high. But yeah, once again, back to my original conclusion, the 4S. There are people, iPhones. There are people who survive film festivals using iPhones as their primary camera, and people are showing off their Canons and their Nikons and their Panasonics, and you have people 4Ss. You can totally do it. If you're that kind of person, totally. I personally will not use my 4S for main recording, primarily because if you're moving, you get this fire hose effect, where the FOV is really small, and it just feels like you're playing Halo on the PC. But yeah, basically the shot just feels real tight where you're moving. And I move around a lot. Meanwhile, with the K2, it's a little bit more comfortable to look at. I mean, granted, it shakes more because there's more frames to work with. It's 60 FPS versus the iPhone here, which is 30. But at least your eye gets more reference points when you're looking around. I don't know where that audio glitch is coming from. Probably the wind. But yeah, so it's a little more comfortable to look at, in my opinion, of course. Some of you might like this, the fire hosing happening with the iPhone. That's totally your opinion. But yes, totally with close-ups, the 4S, you can see it here. I mean, you can see that random bird, again, that just like dropped into the water. Versus if we had the K2, you can not really see it. Well, I skipped past it with the K2. But yes, once again, it depends on the needs. Video is an art. Maybe you're looking for image quality, maybe you're okay with the shallow FOV, and the weird stuff that happens with iPhone video, which such as the variable frame rate. I noticed that when I was playing through these videos, the frame rates didn't match up. Well, actually, it was a strange frame rate. It was like 21.029. I believe the iPhones typically do that. They have a variable frame rate which changes along the way in order to make the recording more accessible, which is absolutely fine if you're watching it. If you put it inside an editor, such as Adobe Premiere, Sony Vegas, iMovie, Final Cut, if you guys are old school, that's where you get problems, I believe. So yeah, there are some. We're playing the games of pros and cons here, and I could be like one of those Amazon viewers and just go, oh, here are the pros, here are the cons. Here's a list of features you should consider. But once again, it really depends on your needs. Me personally, though, if I needed a last ditch video camera, I will pull out my iPhone 4S without hesitation at all. But if I'm going to an event and I know I have to do some amount of video, I will probably stick with the K2, even though the K2 has slightly lesser image quality, only because there's more I can do with it, like the versatility, having separate batteries, so if my K2 runs out of battery, then I can still make phone calls or get a GPS on the way home, which is good because I travel a lot. And the memory card feature, I can swap memory cards. I know people with iPhones who run out of memory all the time. Like, we get to an event and they have no memory, not even memory for photos, and I'm like, well, how could this happen? You know, little things like that. And the size too. My 4S is a lot bigger compared to the K2. So all little things add up. But if you're looking for image quality, I mean, go 4S. If you're the chaotic type of person who will specifically go out of your way to do something specifically and only because someone said you can't do it, then be my guest, do it. But if you're looking for anything else, a K2 would be good. And if you're at this point in deciding if you should get a K2 or a GoPro, then I really can't help you. Oh goodness, I hate buying cameras. There are so many factors to weigh in. I cannot help you buy a movie or a GoPro or a Contour or a Rome or a Sony or a Pentax. You see or a Kodak. I cannot help you with this. You see where I'm going. So I hope this video helps out a bit, because I will tell you personally, it didn't help me out that much because I already knew how this was going to end. So thank you for watching.